Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today's lesson is going to be on shape and line robots. And in class, we've been learning about shapes and lines as two of the elements of art. Today, we're going to combine both shape and line to create these fun, zany shape robots. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to take our paper, and this is an 8.5 by 11 copy paper, but you can use any size paper you want for this. But you just want to fold it in half. So I'm just bringing the top up, giving a little fold in the middle. You don't have to fold it the entire way. This just gives us a guideline because the crease will give us the guideline on where we have to make our lines. So I'm folding it in half, and then I'm going to fold the top down to meet the center, just putting a little crease in the middle, and then I'm going to fold the bottom up to meet the center right there. And this can be approximate. This does not have to be exact. This just gives us an idea of where we're going to put all our body parts. Let me show you my example here. So the very center is where the neck would form, and then the first section is going to be where we're going to put our robot head. The next section below the middle is where we'll put our robot body, and then of course we have room for our legs. By folding the paper, it lets us as an artist plan where everything's going so that we know we have enough room to put all of these great body parts, because we don't want to miss out on all the fun detail that you can add coming off the head here. And here's another example of how they can come up and off the head. So you're going to be using your imagination. So for today, we're going to be using just some of the basic shapes. And of course, if you want to add any other fancy shapes, you can, like octagons and hexagons. If you know how to draw those in, you're more than welcome to add them. But we're going to start from my examples here. I'll just show you the basic simple shapes. We do have our squares and rectangles, triangles, oval shapes are real fun to make, circles. Of course, you can add some more hearts, which is a little bit more free form, diamonds, and then this is a total free form or organic shape here, or what we call a blob in my class, because it's just an organic free form shape. You can't identify it as a geometric, so there's our free form shapes, which make great robot parts as well. So to make the robot, let's find our very center here, and we're going to go ahead, and you can do this with a marker, or you can do this with a pencil. I like my kids just starting out with a marker because it shows up nicely. It gives us nice clean lines. So we're going to start in the very middle and just put a dot right there, because that's going to be my guideline where my shape is going to be for my head. And now the head is going to fit into this first section. So let's put a dot coming straight up from the center of our page on the fold here. Now in this space right now, what you're going to do, and you can do it on your own, is to draw from top dot to bottom dot your first shape. You can pick any shape here, or like I said, if you want to put your own hexagons or pentagons, you can put those in as well. So we're going to draw a shape for the head. And for my design today, I'm going to start out with a diamond. And so I'm going to do a diamond shaped head. So I already have my two dots here for the top and bottom of the diamond, but then I got to decide, do I want it narrow or do I want it quite wide? And for this one, I may make it a little bit wide, because then I can have some fun things hanging off of it here. So I'm going to come down diagonally, put a dot, down diagonally and put a dot. Now remember, you don't have to copy me. We're just going to do this together step by step, but you're going to insert your own shape. So go ahead, start off, draw your shape in. Here I am, just putting in my diamond shape here. So now we have our head. The next body part, let's start thinking about the next one. The next one we want to think about is the torso, or the tummy shape area. Which shape do you want? We'll look back here on our shape pictures. Think about which shape would look like a tummy for you. Now remember, this is a robot, so you can use your imagination. here I put a diamond shape for this one. And here I used a triangle shape for the torso. Right now, you're gonna do your torso, and you're gonna place it between below the head and to the fold right here at the bottom. So I'm gonna measure that. I'm just gonna mark it with a dot. So now I know to this bottom fold, that's where my torso's going. So in this space here, this is where we're gonna put our torso. So to go ahead and start your torso section, or your belly section, we wanna start off first. Let's get 2 lines coming straight down off of the head. That'll give a neck area. And in the robot, this neck area would have like wires coming through. There could be tubes here, or washers or gears that make it move. So here we need to leave a little space between the head and the body. So I come down with 2 straight lines, and now I have a space where I can go ahead and draw my body. So we mark it off here, and in this space is where we'll put our body. And for my body shape, I'm going to be using just a large square coming out. Straight down, and then across. So I have my head, my torso, and now we'll put in our legs and our feet. You want to decide, first of all, let's see, do I want them close together, far apart? I'm going to put mine, I do mine pretty close together here. So I'm going to add 2 lines coming down. Again, these are our connectors where the wires would come through the robot. And I'm going to do the same for my arms. Coming off of here, I'm going to decide where I want my arms, and I'm just going to add my connectors. That way the arms are all set and ready to go. So go ahead and stick your connectors in, which is just 2 straight lines, and then connecting. Now, mine are square. If you want to do circular connector shapes, you can. Now we're going to decide which shapes we want our legs to be. Long and skinny ovals, long and skinny rectangles. You could even exaggerate a triangle and make it a long, skinny triangular shape, which I think I'll do. I'll show you an example for that. I'm going to start with my line for one side of my triangle. And then I'm going to come down and back up for some long, skinny triangular legs. Here's some oval examples. These are a combination of ovals. Now we're going to decide what we want for our feet. Use your imagination, and we're going to put 2 shapes in for the feet. Here, I did triangle feet. And in this example, I did some rectangles. So now, go ahead and draw in your feet. I'm going to put some really long feet. This will give it stability so the robot won't tip over. And let's see what shape I'm going to do for. So I'm going to do it some nice large rectangles coming out. So I've got some long rectangles on this robot. And then we want some arms here. I really like these kind of wavy line arms. That way it's kind of like where the robot can just move kind of organically and not be so stiff and straight. Here's some more that just move really cool. So we got some curving lines, or if you want to do your arms with ovals, you can do that as well. And you can see how I added some of these connectors here for the elbow area. So if you want to add that in. So right now, go ahead and add your arms. And I'm going to have some of these arms just kind of waving up. And I'm going to give it 2 lines and end it. And this one, I'm going to kind of come down like this and swirl it down. And then I'm going to give it a straight line for ending. That way he can kind of reach and move. And I'm going to add some wires on the inside here, or just a stripe pattern. You can even add these patterns later. I like adding them with some black though, the Sharpie. That way when I color over them, they'll show. Here I added my stripes after I colored. Here's an example when I added them before I colored. Now we want to think about our hands. Which shape would work for a hand? You can even combine several shapes together. I think I'm going to do that with this one. I'm going to do 2 diamonds. And that way, this robot can actually move. It'll have almost like a claw where the diamonds can move together to even grasp. So I'll put a diamond there and stick a diamond out there. Here I have just single shapes for my hands. Circular, and I even put a heart shape for this one. But I like the 2 diamond idea, that way they can grasp things. So go ahead and put your shapes in now that you want for your hands. And now the fun part, we get to design the face. Let's look at some of these examples here. This one's more feminine with some spirals and hearts. And of course I added accessories. Here's layers of circles. And then I kind of wanted the cat eye feel because the cat eyes have this neat shape in the center. Right here, it's almost like an oval. And I wanted to give that cat eye feel here, so I made the cat eyes in the center there. And then this kind of mimics like a texture of fur. And here's a very geometric shaped face with square outer eyes, square eye shapes, and then circular on the inside. So I'm going to give you a few minutes and design yours while I'm designing mine. I'm going to put 2 triangles together for lips. And then I'm going to give a triangle for the center of my eyes over here. And then I'm going to form a half circle around each of these. And then I'm just going to give some zigzag line inside here for the design that's at the top, like for hair coming down. And this robot is going to have some really tall antennas or transmitters that will help keep the signal. It'll be like a remote control robot. I'm just adding some fun pattern. And I do love spirals, so I'm going to put a huge spiral at the top. It's going to be like a wire connector. And then you can decorate on the inside and add some fancy details, because details in art really improve what you're making. It makes it more interesting. Here I added like a keypad where somebody can punch in some information, and then I added some buttons and some detail on the belts. And then inside this, for her clothing, I added a belt, and then I had some pieces of triangular metal coming down that's kind of a soft metal where as she walks it kind of flows in the breeze. And so you can see some movement here with these triangle designs. And this will help with getting transmissions as well and getting signal, because it'll cause some movement here. So those are some fun shapes to add. So think about what you want to add in yours and go ahead and add that now. For this, I am going to add a pretty large control panel. So I'm going to work with a giant rectangle. And inside that, I'll just fill it with some circular push buttons. And then I'm going to have an entry button. Maybe I'll have it right here in the center, a pretty large circular keypad design. And I think to balance this, I'm going to have another keypad controller on the other side too, just to give balance in the picture. because that's one of the elements of art as well, is balance. And then I'm going to add just some layers of design here. Maybe I'll do it a checkerboard. This is always fun to color in. Gives a nice pattern. So you want to finish up yours, and I'll show you this one once I finish coloring. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to see some things for your house, I have the Art Lady channel at home. Check that YouTube video out.